Welcome to another edition of Rivals. I'm Scott Mitchell. He's Jason Buck. We're the co-host. Rivals has arrived. Now it's time to go to the GOAT. Meh. Not that GOAT. Actually, Tom Brady.
Did you do a great goat?
Yeah. It's the only animal's noise I can make. All right, we'll do our animal stories later. Tom Brady is back at it again. The New England Patriots are back at it again. They're in the AFC Championship again for the 8th straight time, which is building on a record again. And everyone was like, oh, the Patriots are over. The Patriots are this or that, whatever. Tom Brady comes out after the game and says, hey, look, the Chiefs are they're a very good football team. We played them before. Everyone thinks that we suck, blah, blah, blah. And what I get from that, I get Tom Brady is talking trash to himself.
Yes.
He's totally.
And his teammates.
Yes.
He's getting the locker room fired up.
He's totally out there going, look.
Yep.
This isn't about the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not about gamesmanship. It's not like, oh, we're just happy to be there. And, if things work out right for us, if we work really hard, whatever. He's psyching himself out. He's always viewed himself as the underdog. He always plays his very best when he's like ticked off at the world, when he's like, I'm going to show you kind of thing. And that's all this is. It's just Tom Brady talking trash to himself.
It's a great, self-hypnosis, if you will, that motivation to get yourself up and prepared for the game. But I think he's working the team as well. He's as the leader of the team. He's helping Belichick in the locker room, and they know how to do this. I mean, their system is so. Belichick can run such a tight ship, and he's proven it. And that's why I picked New England, last week. I'm like, man, these guys are not out of the picture at all. They're amazing. They're experienced. They know how to get ready in the playoffs. They know how to prepare for, Kansas City. And this will be one heck of a football game this week.
So here's something that seems obvious to me again, and so many people don't seem to get it right. I think the Patriots are one of the few teams, and I think there are some others, Pittsburgh Steelers to a point, that have really figured out how to win championships in the era of free agency.
Yeah.
And their philosophy is really simple. It's, we're going to let you draft all these players, and we're going to let you develop them, and you teach them how to be pros, and once you're ready to cast them off, we're going to pick up all of your old pros. And they're going to come here, and they're going to go, I'm coming here because I want to win a Super Bowl, and pay me whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So they get really good professional players around their 7th year in the NFL where they really know how to play in the NFL, and they plug them into a system.
And they don't sign any problem players.
Well,
have you noticed that? I mean, somebody gives them, they give them fits, they cut them in a heartbeat.
But Randy Moss was a problem other places. Josh Gordon was in jail a lot of other places. And, of course, he proved that, they came in and straightened him out. Aaron Hernandez was not a choir boy.
No.
But what they do is they get these guys that are really good.
Not very many of them,
They know how to play. Corey Dillon, who I played with in Cincinnati, who I thought was a great running back. A lot of these, Junior Seau, they find these players that are really good, and they just plug them into a system. And it's a system that they know like the back of their hand. Bill Belichick knows every little detail about every position on the offense, on the defense, on the special teams, and he's taught this to his supporting coaching staff.
Right.
And so a player comes in, and the system's there. They don't have to. They don't have to learn a new system. They have to teach the player their system. And there's that one anchor, and it's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady knows it the exact same way. So if it's Julian Edelman or if it's Randy Moss or whomever it is, Tom Brady's going to go, I need you to run this route this way against this coverage.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, oh, I can do that, right? And so it's how they
But you're getting veterans that are ready to do it and execute it like that.
And everyone else goes the opposite way.
Yeah.
Take the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
What do? Kirk Cousins, we're going to pay you $88 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then what's around you? A bunch of guys, young guys that don't really know how to play the game.
Yep.
And so in free agency, it's what's the shiny new object, and it's not about let's be smart about this and really develop and build a team around quality veteran players. So essentially, Bill Belichick is just saying, I'm going to use the NFL to basically farm my players and develop my players.
I agree with that 100%.
And as long as Bill Belichick's there, as long as Tom Brady's there, and maybe even after Tom Brady's gone, they probably can plug another guy in there and still win championships because it's the philosophy. It's not about just one player in their system.
No.
And it's beautiful. It's masterful, and I don't get why people don't talk about it.
So many things out of Belichick's book I see come from Joe Gibbs' book. From what I went through, the veteran players, Joe would bring in veterans every year, and there'd be 2 or 3 rookies that make the team. I mean, he did not spend a ton of time on rookies. There'd be a couple, but it was really veterans filling the team and character. And he knew how to bring in those guys. He bring the character first, athletes second, and Joe went to 4 Super Bowls in 12 years and won 3 of them.
And one with 3 different quarterbacks.
One with 3 different quarterbacks. I mean, I look when I watch Belichick. So many things he does reminds me of Joe Gibbs, right out of his book, like you said, and bringing in the veterans. And I think he's got a lot of the old school left in him. And I think that's why he stays with it, and he knows who he is, and he knows who his team is, and they prepare right.
It's old school meets modern football.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
They really figured it out.
Yeah.
And the other thing they do is, if you're a Richard Seymour, who was a great defensive end for them, was a superstar type of player, he goes, well, I want all the money. And they said, well, you can go somewhere else and get all that money. And they will never overpay.
That's why I love that.
And they're just picking up people's scraps and has-beens and all this, and they literally have created a dynasty off of used parts, and I love it.
Because he understands out of used parts, because he understands the principle that you and I just talked on the previous show of developing players like Donovan Mitchell or a Steve Young or Brett Favre, and those coaches that looked at him and went, hey, here's what this guy can be, and stood behind him and built him. So they take these veterans that were in terrible situations or weren't used right in a lot of cases and bring them in and plug them in, and all of a sudden they're winning Super Bowls with them because they can see it.
It's absolutely brilliant. All right, this round of rivals is over.
And we're off to our corners, but in the playoffs, and see if I'm 100% right again this week like I was last week.
Congratulations.
100%, brother.
You're a gosh darn genius.
I think I am.
You must have an IQ of, 162?
In football, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a football
IQ.
IQ.
I can totally see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. He's Jason Buck. I'm Scott Mitchell. You can text
talking
rivals.
about myself.
You can text rivals to 65537. Go to those social sites, like us, dial us on that smarty phone of yours. Jason has a genius phone. It's not a smartphone, it's a genius phone.
A genius phone with the genius ring and the genius football brand.
Yes. Until then, we'll catch you soon.